Ashamed to ask, ashamed to admit, got Jewy questions. This is it. Wise, wicked, simple, or unsure how to ask. We'll open up the books, the ark. We'll open up your cynical heart. No such a thing as a dumb question, okay, that's mostly true. Tammy and Shoshana are here for you. Ashamed to admit, ashamed to ask.
It's everything you didn't get in Jewish studies class.
Hey everyone, what's up? You are listening to Ashamed to Admit, a podcast by the Jewish Independent, otherwise known as the Jindependent. I'm Shoshana Gottlieb-Becker.
And I'm Tammy Sussman. I like stretching, I can't cook rice, and I don't understand why all of my super smart friends like the dumbest reality TV shows like The Bachelor, Married at First Sight. I don't get it, but there is a direct correlation.
I'm not going to lie to you. I spent so long coming up with the three things that you prompted me to come up with. I don't know why I overthought it so much.
Yep.
And I was really thrown off by the fact that you can't cook rice.
I can't.
Have you ever bought a rice cooker?
Everyone says that. Even in a rice cooker, I'll always burn the bottom
It's so
layer.
easy to make.
Everyone says
Maybe
that.
you're making like not enough rice.
I don't know what it is, but I can't
I'll
get
teach
it right.
you. I can't make a lot of things. I can make rice.
Okay.
Please. Okay. Anyway, I like buying books, which
Mm-hmm.
is a different hobby to reading them, but I enjoy buying them.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do a handstand, and I don't understand most mathematical concepts.
Samesies.
Yeah, I did 3-unit math in year 12, and then like never thought about maths again.
For someone who doesn't understand mathematical concepts, you did quite a high level.
I just like everything fell out. The second I finished my HSC, everything fell out of my head.
Right.
Like I don't remember anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's some miscellaneous information that all of our viewers and listeners just received right
Yes.
there. And that's
Yes.
appropriate because today's theme is
Miscellaneous.
it's miscellaneous. It's just basically miscellaneous questions that you, our viewers and listeners, have sent in over the past few weeks that we haven't got a chance to address. And so
Questions in a hat.
yeah, that's what we're doing. It's another
Yeah.
Questions in a Hat episode. And I'm not ashamed to admit that a lot of the questions excite me.
I'm really happy for you.
Thank you.
There's some pretty good questions.
Yeah. And they're in a hat today.
this.
They're in a hat, which is, I'm holding up to the camera. It's probably upside down.
It is upside down, I would say.
It says perfect punim on it.
Yeah.
And punim is a Yiddish word, Shoshana, meaning,
Face.
yeah. So if you wear this hat, you have a perfect face.
It's like a magical hat.
Yeah. And this is a really cool Melbourne brand, Kvetch and Kvel.
Are you also maybe wearing her t-shirt?
I am.
Crazy.
I'm wearing their T-shirt. Two Melbourne Jews or Jew-adjacent people.
Slay.
Yeah, I've started this brand, Kvetch and Kvel. It's online. Check it out. All right, so I'm holding the hat. I'm shaking the questions. Shoshana's going to take one out. And the first question is,
Rashi, why does Shoshana froth?
yeah, why does Shoshana
I
froth over Rashi, who
I love Rashi.
is a figure that's come up a lot. We probably should have just talked about him earlier.
I love Rashi. He's amazing.
okay.
Rashi is one of the commentators of Tanakh. He's a rabbi. He lives in France in like the 1080s, right? So he's a medieval scholar. Rashi revolutionized Torah study. You cannot learn Torah today. I'm sorry, I'm going to make sounds if I play with that anymore. You cannot learn Torah today without Rashi right there. And when you describe a page in the Talmud, right, and you've described it before in this podcast, there's text in the middle and there's text around the side. One of the bits of text around the side is Rashi's explanations of the Talmud. You can't learn Talmud also without Rashi. He fills in the blanks. He knows what words mean that we don't know based on all of his wide reading. He has all of these amazing interpretations. And his goal specifically for the Torah and for the Tanakh was, how do I make this like simple and accessible right? How do I take everything that's written in the Talmud and the Midrash and all around my knowledge and create an easy way to learn this? And then he did that, and he wrote this this commentary on Torah. And basically what he does is, if there's a word that we're not sure what it is because it's been lost to time, it only appears a couple of times, you can't figure out what it means, he usually has an explanation of what it means based on his study. We use him for Midrash. He'll bring down famous Midrash to explain the story as well. He sometimes does like logical explanations of if something in the text doesn't quite make sense, he tries to logically figure out what it could mean. And he changed the game in terms of, like, literally you can't study Torah without this guy. He's also really fascinating. He is one of the most important resources to scholars of medieval French. Because in his commentary, if he's trying to tell you what he thinks a word means, he'll translate it for you to the language that he speaks that is not Hebrew, which is medieval French. And so, but when he's writing it in Hebrew letters. And so let's say he says the word crocodile, but it's the medieval French word for crocodile, but he's written it in Hebrew letters so we can sound out what he meant and what it sounded like. And it's one of the ways that medieval French scholars have figured out pronunciations of these words based on his commentary.
Wow.
It's amazing. What a fun fact that is.
So Gentiles appreciate, they froth as much as you?
Specifically, no, probably not.
Okay.
Rashi's also super famous for only having daughters. He had 3 daughters, and so it's like a really interesting, I don't know.
Tidbit.
It's more that, like, when people talk about women having more of a role or being able to do certain mitzvot in Judaism, there's one specific example that I'm thinking of, which is that if a woman wants to wear tefillin, the example that she will give, Rashi's daughters, they wore tefillin. But as a proof of, here is a really famous rabbi whose daughters wore tefillin, I think that sucks because, one, there's no actual proof that they did wear tefillin. And number 2, it's used, I think, in a way to say only the most learned women who were daughters of the most learned men are allowed to wear tefillin, right? So it's kind of like turning it on its head. They also famously, and I'm pretty sure there is historical evidence of this, they were his scribes, so they were literate, right? They knew how to read and write. They probably learned a bit of Torah as well from him. Their sons were their own sort of class of rabbis who were also all commentators, or a lot of them are commentators on the Tanakh. There's famous stories around Rashi being, I don't know how to say this word, a vintner, like a wine maker. But those are also kind of unfounded. And he probably just knew a lot about wine because he describes it a lot because, you know, he's French and likes wine.
Classy.
Anyway, he's just a really interesting guy. Do I have any other notes of things that I wanted to mention about Rashi?
I don't know, but if you had to choose between Rashi and Maimonides, who would you choose?
Oh, Rashi. Every day. I love Rashi.
Wow.
Like, in terms of my personal preference, yeah. I'm a Tanakh girly.
Okay.
That's what I fuck with that.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That needs to be a t-shirt, Tanakh girly.
Yeah. It's the difference between, like, do I want to do a degree in English lit or law?
Right.
English lit all the way.
Okay.
I don't have a law brain.
Okay.
I'm a Tanakh girly.
Right. So Maimonides is more law.
Yeah, he's like hectic philosophy.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
Got it. Cool.
I love Rashi. He's so cool. Big fan. Rashi is also an acronym for, like, you know how Rambam is an acronym because his name is Moshe ben Maimon. We did this like one of our first episodes. Rashi is an acronym for Rabbi Shlomo Yitzchaki.
Oh my God.
So, like, he's just this little name, like this kid named Shlomo. Now his name's Rashi. I met someone in Israel once who they had a friend named Rashi, like this girl named Rashi. I'm like, that is the coolest name in the world.
Where were you?
In Israel. In Jerusalem.
Wow.
So just like this like little American named Rashi. I'm like, that's sick.
That's
I
cute.
want to name my kid Rashi.
Yeah.
Sky has already said no
Okay.
in our discussions of our future children. So that's yours up for grabs. Name your daughter Rashi. That name's sick as hell.
In fact,
One of our best.
Australians are such a fan of Rashi that we named one of our iconic swimwear
That's why
items.
Sky said we can't use it because everyone would just call our
him.
kid Rashi.
So if you live overseas in Australia, I guess what you might call sun protection shirts, swim shirts, we call them rashis. No one knows why.
They're a rash shirt.
What do you mean? It prevents you from getting a rash from sun?
That makes sense. Yeah, sure, I'll take that.
Okay, great. Should we move on?
Yeah. Next one. Next hat question.
Rashi.
Oh my God, okay. How does one talk to God?
This was a question that one of your followers sent to you, and it made it onto the list. Big sigh.
Deep
Why the big
sighs.
sigh, Shoshana?
How do I phrase this? Do you want to talk to God like a prophet talks to God, like a crazy guy talks to God, or you just want to talk to God? You know?
Yeah, I don't know. They weren't
very specific. If you want to talk to God like the prophets talk to God, right? Where we spoke about the prophets a few episodes ago, you got like your Jeremiahs, your Ezekiels, like that kind of vibe, your Jonahs, even your Moseses. God kind of chooses you to talk to. If you want to talk to God, you just kind of talk. It's like the little voice in your head. You just have a chat with it, right? You pray 3 times a day like religious Jews do. That's them talking to God. And your mind wanders and you're thinking about other stuff because like you're not a very considerate conversationalist.
It's pretty one-sided.
I know, it's just, or like take time to meditate, you know? I think it depends how you conceptualize God. You have to figure that out before you can figure out how you're going to talk to God, right? If for you, God is like an entity in the sky, then talking to God might include sitting in a quiet room and meditating. If God to you is the people around you and the things around you, then maybe talking to God looks different. Maybe it's action instead of like actual talking, you know?
Yeah.
It's such a vague question.
Yeah.
And it means something different to everyone. My official answer is just figure it out. Do you believe in God? Do you talk to God?
Firstly, this is not in the hat. Second
Off
of
script.
all,
So sorry. We never go off script.
second of all, you are someone who changed my whole perspective of that.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yes.
I'm
Do you
gonna made
remember
you
that?
believe in God.
Yeah, but do you remember?
I remember that you told me afterwards that I made you believe in God.
Because you described God in a way that I'd never heard God described.
I forget what that was. Remind me.
It was the very first podcast we did
Yeah.
together before we had this one where you and I were supposed to be co-hosting,
And then like you
and
ended up
then
asking
our
me
interviewer
questions. Yeah.
didn't show up. And so I ended up just asking you questions, and I asked you, do you believe in God? And you said, yes, in the God for you is many different things, but for instance, you're sitting on a balcony with your friends and the sun is setting and you're all having a great time and,
God has time.
That's God.
Yeah.
And then like a week later, I went on first date with my now partner and it was beautiful. And it was just like, the weather was amazing. The sun was setting. There was like this beautiful breeze. We were having such a good time. And I was like, oh, this could be God.
So, wow.
Yeah,
I'm amazing.
you are.
So that's like 2 times I've been able to do that, right? So like I made you believe in God, and then one time I had a student. We had a tish. Have you ever been to a tish? Maybe back in your
I've
school
heard
days?
the word tish. Isn't it you sing songs on Shabbat?
So a tish is like an Australian tish is different to other tishes. Usually it's you're sitting. Tish means table in Yiddish. So you're sitting around the table. You're having a jolly time. You're singing. In Australian circles, tishes are really intense, and you sit in semi-darkness in concentric circles and you sing really like slow, beautiful Jewish songs. And usually they take place on like youth camps. And so one time I was on a camp and it was beautiful. And I think I did a similar spiel to that of like, God is time and space and feeling and energy and things like that. And we sang, and it ended with this most beautiful song. and everyone's singing, everyone's on their chairs like screaming, singing, and afterwards a girl came up, she's like, I don't know what I just felt, but I think it might be it. And she's like, no, she was like an atheist. She's like a very serious science, logical kid. And I was
Yes.
like, slay. Got another one.
Yeah, but
I should get a raise every time I get someone to believe in God.
I still don't know. If someone said to me, do you believe in God? I wouldn't just go, yes. I would be like, it depends. Like, how do you define God?
I don't know what to say, because for a lot of people, they ask like, you believe in God? Like it's like a gotcha kind of question.
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah, but like how I believe in God is not how you believe in
That's
God or how you
true.
conceptualize God.
Yeah.
And I think like,
Not the deep voice in the clouds.
yeah, and I
not
think
that
also
God.
when you think about sort of this age of sort of internet atheists or these career atheists like the Richard Dawkins of the world who've made an entire career trying to debunk God, but they're debunking a really like Christian, either a Christian understanding of God because that's where they're coming from like a Christian upbringing, or B, like their understanding of God is an atheist's understanding of God. Like it's not, you know what I mean? Anyway, that's what I think.
Yeah.
Love God, love that guy.
This question is, what was the Mishkan?
Ah, the Mishkan is the tabernacle. I like to call
Still
it.
don't know what either of those things
so
are.
I love the word tabernacle because
love the
usually if you ask me what does this mean and it's a Jewish word, I give you a direct translation. A tish is a table, right? A menorah is a candelabra, right? English words that make sense. There are two Hebrew words that when you give the translation, it still makes no sense. Those words are, a mishkan is a tabernacle. The fuck is a tabernacle? And tefillin, the little black boxes, right, that a Chabad man will ask you to wear, phylacteries. What the hell is a phylactery? Do you know what a phylactery is?
Do I look like someone who knows
No.
what a phylactery
Anyway.
is?
The Mishkan is the tabernacle. The tabernacle or the Mishkan was given to the Jewish people in the desert after Har Sinai, or the giving of the Torah on Mount Sinai. They go through this little blip of an episode called the golden calf. God's like, I have some rules. I have a top 10 rules. Number 1, I am your only God. Number 2, don't worship idols. Okay, top 2. What's the first thing these bloody Israelites do?
They
When
build a-
Moshe is a little bit late by their own calculations,
They build a golden
they
calf.
build an idol. They're like, you know what we need? Idol. So they build an idol. It's bad. God kills a bunch of them. God then condemns them to wander the desert for 40 years rather than go straight into the land of Israel, right? Classic God. And then God gives them the tabernacle. That's like the next thing that happens. But what's really interesting
You still haven't said what
what
that
it is.
is.
I know, I will in a second. What's really interesting is that God, so the story happens, we have the story of the receiving of the Torah, and then it cuts to the instructions for the tabernacle, and then it cuts to the story of the golden calf, even though chronologically it happens sort of the other way around. The Jews sin with the golden calf.
The Jews what?
They sin
They sin.
with the golden calf.
Yep.
And then I think this is what happens, which is that God says they did the wrong thing, but clearly they're an experience-based people. They need like physical objects in order to understand the world around them and understand worship. So then God gives them the instructions on how to build the Mishkan. The Mishkan is a portable temple.
Is it their first?
Their first temple, yeah. And so it's made out of like wood. So the outside, it's all these wooden pieces, and there's gold and silver. And then there's a menorah in the Mishkan. There's the Aaron, right? The Ark of the Covenant with the 2 little cherubs on top. That's in the Mishkan. You've got different altars for sacrifice, for animal sacrifice and like incense and smell sacrifice. You've got a table that holds 12 loaves of bread. You've got like an urn to wash your hands with. Anyway, so it's this portable Mishkan, this temple that sits in the center of the Israelite camp as they wander through the desert. And then when they have to change camping spots, you can pack it all up like it's Lego, right? Like it's a little set, and you just carry it with you. And then you reset it up when you get to the next spot. And that's the tabernacle of the Mishkan. And then when they enter the land of Israel, it stays for a really long time. They set it up in a permanent spot. I'm in a city called Shiloh. And then that's it until they build the Bet HaMikdash, which is like the permanent temple in Jerusalem. So it's like the first one. But the thought is that all of the big items that they got, like the menorah and the ark, the ones that were in the desert are the ones that are also in the permanent temple. There's like that carry through.
First of all, well done, God, for seeing their mistake and turning it around.
Okay, so that's my interpretation of the story because, again, chronologically it's interesting, right? Where it like they get the Torah and it's this whole like lights show and they're all like freaking out and there's the lights and the sounds and the booms and whatever and the voice of God and then they die and then they come back to life. It's a whole thing. Then they sin and then immediately after sinning they get a way to serve God again, right? God's like, okay, I'll give you another way to do it because clearly this first thing freaked you out a little bit. And then the text also makes the connection because the text goes from receiving the Torah, the instructions of the Mishkan, and then the golden calf right after. Like they seem to be, at least to me, like, and I think other rabbis talk about it. I'm not a rabbi.
I was just about to say.
I think rabbis and other people talk about it, but they are like sort of linked in that way.
Any idea why there were 12 loaves of bread in there?
Represents the 12 tribes probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Okay.
Next.
Right, next one. How many questions do we have left?
2.
2. Okay, number 1 question. What does a Chazzan do besides sing? It's a great question. Let me take a sip of water though. Pardon me.
Do you want me to cut that out or do you want...
You can keep my cough in. It's fine.
Okay. Humanize you.
Let them hear my coughing. A Chazzan sets the tone for the shul service.
Okay. The first thing that springs to mind is
It's
the
a joke
Chazzan.
because like singing tone.
The first thing that springs to mind, because remember there are people who listen to this who are not Jewish. So the first, I guess, the most overt thing that a Chazzan will do in a synagogue is they're the singers.
They lead the prayers.
They lead the prayers.
Yeah. A Chazzan is, in English is a cantor, right? It's a person who sings, but it's a really big job to like set the tone. Like I made that a joke, but like to set the tone for what the prayers are like, and it's knowing the specific tunes. It's going at a pace that is good enough for the synagogue. In the Mishnah, it doesn't talk about a Chazzan, but it talks about a shaliach tzibor, right? Someone who is a messenger on behalf of the community standing before God and delivering their prayers, which is a really important role. And then it has a whole description of what a shaliach tzibor needs to be, like a pious person and like a really learned, serious kind of guy.
Or gal.
Back in the day, it was mostly just only guys.
All right.
And then in America, what's really interesting is that Chazanim or Chazans were considered clergy before rabbis were. They were seen as integral to a community in a way that a rabbi wasn't, because you have so many lay-led communities that don't have a rabbi as a head figure, but Jews would go, they would try to find someone who could sing the tunes for them. And so in early American sort of communities, organizations, in the eyes of the government, the cantors were performing weddings, right? They were like signing on the dotted lines for religious weddings and stuff like that. I also found, because I was like, what do they do? I looked up a curriculum for Chazans and like what they learn when they go to cantorial school. They learn Hebrew, so they learn modern biblical, which is like the Torah Hebrew, and liturgical Hebrew, which is from a siddur or a prayer book. They learn nusach, which means like the specific tradition. Like, so if you're Sephardi, it might sound different to if you're Ashkenazi. And then again, depending where in Europe you're from, it'll sound different if you're Polish or German, right? Those are all different things. They learn the laws and traditions pertaining to Jewish prayer service. They learn the history and content of the siddur, the prayer book. They learn music theory and sight reading, so they also get like some actual music skills. Playing an instrument, usually guitar or piano, singing technique, cantillation, which is what the Torah has certain notes that teaches you how to sing it. Choral conducting, they learn Jewish history, they learn Tanakh, they learn Jewish musical history, which I think is fascinating. They learn pastoral care and counseling and theology. There you go. So they learn quite a bit in order to be able to get to the place that like to lead it.
Okay, so if you have a synagogue, the synagogue has to pay the salary of a rabbi and the Chazzan, the cantor. Is that why for smaller synagogues, some of them don't have a cantor? The rabbi does everything?
Sometimes the rabbi does everything, but then also you'll have communities where like the rabbi isn't the chazan and it's just the person who leads davening is a guy with a nice voice in the crowd.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
And a lot of lay-led communities where they're not going to pay a salary to, like you said, they're not going to pay a salary. So it falls on community members. Mm-hmm. And sometimes communities don't have people who are learned enough to lead tefillah, so the rabbi will step in and do it all the time. Could be that they have a nice voice, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Or they'll just get some guy from the crowd.
Do you have to have a good voice to be a rabbi?
No, but it makes it like, not to be a rabbi, but for someone who's leading tefillah, you're standing up there and you're singing a lot.
Yeah.
So it's nice to to sound good.
Yeah.
And then you have so one of the shuls I go to is called Or Chadash. So they'll have during weekly services, it'll be just, whichever guys volunteer to do it and who are sort of good at doing it, right? And then for things like Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, sometimes they'll fly in a chazan specifically for that to lead, the big services.
Right.
Yeah.
As a special treat.
Special treat, yeah.
Okay.
One last question?
One last question.
I can't believe this is the last question. It's a big one and we only had 2 minutes. Mashiach. Who that diva?
Oh my God. We need more than 2 minutes.
What do Jews believe around the Messiah? Do you want a longer episode or do you just want to keep it for next time?
No, I think we should keep it. I think this is a cliffhanger.
We can do probably a half episode on Mashiach.
Yeah. All right.
Not a full episode just because I don't want to talk about Mashiach for that long.
A whole that you don't?
Yeah, just a half episode.
All right. So viewers and listeners.
Wow.
If you want to know.
Cliffhanger. That's crazy, man.
Join us next week.
Oh, next week already. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know when on the schedule we'll
Maybe
get
not
to
next week.
it.
Maybe you'll just have to keep listening until we talk about Mashiach again.
But
Who
the
knows?
episode is coming.
Yeah, like Mashiach.
You see,
Nice.
that's what thanks.
nice.
I was quite proud of that one. Wow.
That was
All
rapid.
right.
That was a lot to get through in the
was.
time we have.
All right, so we've got our final segment.
final segment.
And then that's it.
I love this segment. I sent you this one.
You did.
This one's not even from a group. This is just an ad I got on Facebook.
It's just an ad.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to describe it.
Okay, you describe it. Oh, no, it wasn't a group. Sorry, I lied. It's in a group, but I also then saw the same little baby pop up in a different ad.
All right. It's just a picture of a baby poking out of a suitcase. And the caption reads, "For visitors from overseas with an infant, can anyone recommend a baby equipment hire company? Saw one, but would love to hear if anyone has one they've used."
So, yeah. So the picture of the baby in the suitcase is because that's the link from the website.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The website is about renting baby gear in Israel. Mm-hmm. But it says rent in Israel, Babe Greer for rent, because it's some Israeli site and they haven't done it properly or it's been translated weirdly. So they've spelled baby, B-A-B-A-Y, and they've spelled gear, G-R-E-A-R. And so after I saw this, I went around for 2 weeks just saying Babe Greer every so often. Babe Greer. It was like a vocal stem, Babe Greer. Sounds like an actress. Babe Greer.
I can't believe I even allowed this into this episode. To me, it's such a non-event. This really moved you.
I love Babe Greer. You don't like Babe Greer? I think can you photo put it here, superimpose the photo of Babe Greer here?
Yes.
Because Babe Greer is funnier by the old-timey yellow suitcase that has a baby inside it. You know what I mean?
So you're not shaming the person who wanted to verify if this was a real website. Actually, if I came across a website and they couldn't even spell the name of what they were offering properly, I would have my questions. Reservations.
I just think Babe Greer is really funny. I don't know what to tell you.
Is it a worm?
Babe Greer. If you think Babe Greer is funny, leave a comment down below. And if you don't think it's funny, also leave a comment. Let us know either way. We love all thoughts. Babe Greer.
Let us know. Okay, you're turning me. Kind of like you turned me. You got me into God. You're getting me into Babe Greer. You're making me see why it was worth putting in this episode.
Baba Greer.
It's time for our
Get it.
outro.
That's it for today's show. You can't find it, can you?
No,
You don't know your lines.
I don't. There we go.
Can we do it again?
Yeah.
That's it for today's show.
You've been watching or listening to Ashamed to Admit with me, Tammy Sussman, and her, Shoshana Gottlieb Becker.
This episode was brought to you by the Jewish Independent. Or let's say it all together, everyone. 1, 2, 3. The Jindependent. With Alleyway Productions. The vocalist in our theme song is Sara Yael. And
If you enjoyed this episode, unlock your phone, open your laptop, and give us a positive review.
yeah.
Then forward this episode to your favorite WhatsApp group.
Yeah. Buy, sell, swaps. Send it to everyone.
I've got half an episode of this show. Would anyone like it?
Yeah. Listen to the first half of this and have questions. Has anyone heard of this before? It'd be great. Baba Greer.
Thank you so much, and see you next week.
Baba Greer.